Many people have heard of the term Brexit. But what does it really mean? Brexit is a term for British exit, meaning that the UK would be leaving what is called the European Union. Now, before we can understand what Brexit really means, we first must realize what is the European Union. The European Union is an economic and political union between 27 different European countries. The EU was formed after the Second World War in hopes that European countries would become economically interdependent and in the bigger picture would be able to avoid conflict that had devastated the continent in two world wars. Every single decision the European Union makes is based on treaties and is democratically voted on between its members. Now it's time for the real question. Why did Britain want to leave the European Union? And the real reason is, it's simply because of money. Britain's contribution size to the European Union was almost £9 billion more from 2008 to 2013. These contributions from the larger European economies are what helps the less fortunate countries within the European Union to keep a level playing field. This is a big piece of ammo for Britain pro-Brexit supporters. Britain will be able to save billions and billions of pounds from being spread across the entire continent of Europe, and instead be able to put these pounds towards their own country for things such as roads, buildings, and the welfare of the United Kingdom's people. As a country, Britain had to ask themselves if they really wanted to keep spending billions and billions of their own money for the better of other countries. Now, as a taxpayer, do you really want all that money you pay every single paycheck to go across an entire continent? Now, the second argument is that a membership within the European Union is hurting Britain's trade relationships with the rest of the world. Many people within the UK believe that a Brexit would bring faster and larger economic growth just with trade around the world by separating from the European Union. Many people say that without the luxury of free trade within the European Union, that a Brexit could have severe strain on the British economy. However, pro-Brexiteers like to argue that being free from the grasp of the European Union will help open up trade opportunities that would have never previously been possible for Britain. Boris Johnson, who is the current Prime Minister of Britain and also happens to be a pro-Brexit supporter himself, pitched an idea that the UK should try and model its trade policies after Canada. Now, the idea is to strike free trade arguments around the world and to get rid of tariffs. According to Johnson, this would create a very, very bright future for the UK. The third and final argument is going to be one of the biggest issues that was debated in the steps to Brexit. Under the European Union law, Britain could not prevent citizens from another member of the EU from coming in and living in the country. Now, even though Britain citizens had the same right to move to any other country under the European Union, the numbers became overwhelming. The immigration into Britain became astronomical, typically coming from South and Eastern Europe. In 2016, Britain had 942,000 Eastern European workers within the UK, an additional 791,000 Western Europeans, and a whopping 2.93 million workers that were outside of the European Union. This was a huge argument for the fate of Brexit. Anti-Brexit supporters argued that the immigration boosted the economy. However, some even acknowledged the fact that the large number of immigrants into Britain led to a housing and service issue within the country. Now, the pro-Brexiteers wanted to regain control of the borders. It wasn't just about the number, but the principle that Britain should be able to regulate its own immigration policies, whether or not it was a part of the European Union. Brexit was something that took years for the country to decide, but in the end, the country's parliament decided in favor of the British exit because they thought it would do nothing other than help boost the economy and therefore boost the welfare of the British citizens. Now, there are pros and cons to everything that we do in life, but that doesn't mean we should be scared about taking risks for the better of our lives and the better of our country.